CSEC Mathematics, May 2025. We're at question 4. It says, the graph below shows the straight line PQ. Find the gradient of the line PQ. Alright, we're going to find the gradient. But just before we find the gradient, remember, I have homework assignments in the class, which I link to below. But in the meantime, there's another homework for you. Is to like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and share the video with somebody else. So make sure you do that, alright? So here now, find the gradient of the line PQ. Alright, you could do it in different ways. Remember here, you could use rise over run. If you should form a triangle, how much does it rise? It would rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it would run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, the gradient would be 2. Right? You could even measure it from another place. This little triangle here, it rises 1, 2, and it runs 1. Now, let's copy and place this graph over the other screen, and we look at yet another way that you could use to find the gradient. So they want the gradient of the graph. Now, there's a certain formula you could use. It says y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is the gradient. Y is the vertical, it goes up and down, that's the rise. Over x goes left and right, that's the run. If you take this point as point 1, you would say this is -2, -3. So this would be x1 and this would be y1. And this point is located at 3, 7. So 3, 7. This would be x2, y2. So if you do that, you say y2, which is 7, minus y1, which is -3, over x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is -2. Then you would say 7 minus -3 is 7 plus 3, which is 10, over 3 minus -2, which is 3 plus 2, which is 5. And again you have 2, so the gradient is equal to 2. Remember, gradient doesn't have any units to it. It's just a number. Alright? Now, what else do they want? Let's find the gradient, 1 mark. Write down the equation of the line PQ in the form y equals mx plus c. Alright, so let us see. Let's just erase these things before we do that. Now, you have y equals mx plus c. X and y are variables. That means they vary, they change. They are not fixed. So you just have to keep them as y and x. So y equals something, x plus something. Those two will be constant. You remember what m means and what c means? M is the gradient. So from what you have a while ago, is 2. But what is c? C is the y-intercept. That means it's the point where the line intersects the y-axis, and in this case it happened at 1, where it's plus 1. So that is the gradient, the equation of the line in the form y equals mx plus c. It is y equals 2x plus 1. Alright? It's 1 mark. Now let's see what else happened. Oh, this part is a function question. The function f and g are defined as, and you have them here. Let's copy this and put it over on the other screen. Let's erase these things and put this here. Alright, f and g defined as f of x is x squared minus 1, g of x is 3x plus 2. Okay, you must find f of, g of negative 6. That's g of negative 6. Let's see how this goes. First of all, it says g of x equals 3x plus 2. Remember what it says, is g of x. You have x here, I have x here. But now it's g of negative 6. So it's no longer x. It's going to be negative 6. So you change the x to negative 6. See that? So that means g of negative 6 equals, have 3 times negative 6, which is negative 18 plus 2. Negative 18 plus 2 is what? If you owe $18 million and you pay $2 million, how much do you owe now? It's negative 16 million. So negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16. Alright? And by the way, remember I have worked these out before, and I have a video showing the answers alone. And I asked you to work them out and see if you could get the answers. Alright? So I encourage you to do that. And it has an assignment in the class which I link to below. Alright. Now you must find the inverse function g of negative x. So let's, by the way, this is how many marks? 2 marks. 1 mark for the first one, 2 marks for this one. That means you're going to have to do more work. 1 more marks, you do more work. The inverse function, g inverse of x. Alright, g of x is 3x plus 2. So g of x is equal to 3x plus 2. Now, the inverse function, is a certain function that reverses what the first function did. If you put a number in the first function, the original function, you work it out to get out an answer. If you put the answer into the inverse function, you get back the original number. Alright? It's like encryption and decryption, encoding and decoding. But anyway, one way you have a certain set of methods you can use to find inverse. Certain steps, remember what they are. Step 1, you change g of x to y. Usually it's f of x, but this time they say g of x. Step 2, you switch x and y. Step 3, you interchange to to make y the subject. So you transpose for y. Step 4, you write y as g inverse of x. Alright? So that is what is going on. So let's see what would happen here. You change g to y. Y equals 3x plus 2. Step 2, you switch around x and y. You say x is equal to 3y plus 2. Then you transpose to make y the subject. This is usually the hardest part in inverse function. You can subtract 2 from both sides. So if you minus 2, you get x equals 3y plus 2. So you minus 2 from here, minus 2 from here. So you get x minus 2 is equal to 3y. Alright? Then you divide by 3 to get y alone. So you have x minus 2 equals 3y. If you put this over 3, 3 will cancel 3. And put this over 3 as well. So you get y is equal to x minus 2 over 3. Alright? So you see that. So you change this and say g inverse of x is actually x minus 2 over 3. Right? The inverse function. You can test it out too, you know. Suppose you put 5 into the original function. What do you get out? 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. Alright. So you put in 5 and get 17 into the original. Let's put in 17 into the inverse and see what we get out. 17 minus 2 over 3 equals 15 over 3 is equal to 5. 5. So it works. Alright? That is the inverse function. Now, inverse function there. They say here now. 3 marks for this. Show that fg of x is equal to 3 times 3x plus 1 times x plus 1. Interesting. Fg of x. So it is a composite function, but you have some more work to do. Alright. Now, remember you have f of x equals x squared minus 1. And you have g of x equals 3x plus 2. Fg of x equal what? You're going to put g into f. Now remember, when you say f of x, you put x here, right? You see fg of x is really f of something, you know. F of what? G of x. So you see, you're going to put g of x where x is. So it's f of g of x is f of 3x plus 2. What is it? You're going to change x to 3x plus 2. So it's going to be 3x plus 2 squared minus 1. See that? Alright. Now, let's see what they say here now. Show that that is that. I didn't copy it a while ago. I didn't copy it. Alright, so let's copy it and put it over here. So we're going to show this thing here. My, what's going on? Alright. paste it right here. Where did it go? It went right here. Now, you're going to have to fix this up to make it look like that. Alright? If you multiply out the brackets, you're going to get 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2 minus 1. Alright? So fg of x is 3x times 3x. That's 9x squared. 3x times 2 plus 3 to 6x plus 2 times 3x is 6x plus 2 times 2, 4 minus 1. Alright, so this is going to be how we deal with this now. Alright, let's put these together. So we have 9x squared plus 6x is 12x plus 4 minus 1 is 3. Alright, that's 3. Now, you see this 3 business here. If we factor it out, let me see. Alright, and 2 mosquitoes bothering me. If we should take the 3 outside the bracket, we'd have this 3 here. So let's put 3 outside the bracket. Inside the bracket, you have 3 into 9 goes 3. X squared plus 3 into 12, 4 plus 1. Alright. Now, what is inside the bracket for x, I left off the x. What is inside the bracket? Let's see if we can factorize it using the AC method. Let's put a square bracket here so that we don't mix them up. With this, what we have here is 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. With the AC method, multiply a by c. In this case, a is 3, c is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Can we find two numbers that multiply to give 3 and add to give 4? Well, 3 and 1 probably could work. 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 4. Right. So, what we do is divide the middle part into the 4x into 3x and 1x. So you have 3x squared at one end plus 1 at the other end. And then we have 3x plus x here. So here now, what we have is 3. Factorize this part. 3x can come out as a common factor. This would be x plus 1 inside the bracket. You see that? So that 3x times x give you back x 3x squared, and 3x times 1 give you back 3x plus. Well, you don't really have it. Well, it's only one here you can factor out here. Is x plus 1. So what you have is 3 inside the bracket. If you factor out the x plus 1, you have x plus 1, 3x plus 1. Let me see what they had. Okay. 3x plus 1, x plus 1. Ah, that's it, you know. So, rewriting it. This is 3, open bracket, 3x. You don't need the square brackets anymore. Let's put the 3x plus 1 first, and then x plus 1 after. So it's 3x plus 1, x plus 1. Alright. Shown. Alright? So, that is that. Okay, here's one more thing. Hence, solve the equation f of x equals 0, 1 mark. No, fg of x equals 0. Alright, so remember, this is fg of x equal that. Now remember, what it says here is that fg of x is equal to 3x plus 1, x plus 1. And they say fg of x is 0. So this is equal to 0. Alright? Now it's 1 mark, so it's not going to be a lot of work. Now notice here, this is already factorized. The only way that all of this can be 0 is if 3x plus 1 equals 0 or x plus 1 equals 0, or both. It could be both. Because if 3x plus 1 is 0, you'd have 3 times 0 times x plus 1. Alright? And you can see 0 times anything is 0. If x plus 1 is 0, then you would have 3 times 3x plus 1 times 0 would be 0. Or could both be 0. If both of them are 0, you'd have 3 times 0 times 0, which is 0, right? So that's the argument behind it. Now, if it is the case that 3x plus 1 equals 0, then if you work it out, subtract 1 from both sides and divide by 3, you would have x is equal to negative 1/3. You see that? And if it is the case that x plus 1 equals 0, then x is what? Then x would be negative 1. Alright? So that is it for, what was it, question 4. Next time we look at question 5. Looks like it's start with statistics. But anyway, next video.